Ladies and gentlemen, this is an Alex Automotive comparison. On my right, I have a Tesla Model 3 long-range single motor, and on my left, I have a Tesla Model Y dual motor long range. And today, I'm going to show you the differences between the two. More specifically, this is a 2020 Tesla Model Y long-range dual motor, which means it has all-wheel drive and it has the extended range. However, in contrast to the Model 3 behind me, which I'll show you in a second, the newer Model Y has had more issues than the Model 3, so that already sets up the stage for a nice differences video. Then this is a 2018 Tesla Model 3 single motor long range, which means it's rear wheel drive, but it has the extended range. And while this, besides having some issues with the fuel cap or charging capsule, it really doesn't have any problems at all. The first of the differences comes in the rear, where you can go ahead and see the two tailgates open differently. The Model 3 is manual. You go ahead and press it right here, and you need to push it up manually. As in the Model Y, you go ahead and press the button, and it does all the work for it itself. And as you can see with the two tailgates, the Model Y has its glass that goes up, as in with the Model 3, it's just the trunk itself that goes up. And once you finally made it to the trunk of the Model Y, you can see that there is a lot more space height-wise in the Model Y. Otherwise, in width, there's not a whole lot more different space in here. You can go ahead and open this compartment. The Model 3 also has that. But when you do that, a second compartment also makes its way available, something the Model 3 does not offer, as you'll see in a second. Once you're in the Model 3's trunk, you can see it is much deeper than the Model Y's, but nowhere near as high. However, once you actually do make it in, you can see it does have the little compartment right here. It doesn't have a second one like the Model Y does. While we're on the topic of storage, let's talk frunks, or front storage space. Model Y, you can go ahead and see right here. Storage space, not all that crazy. You go ahead and compare it to the Model 3's storage space, and really there is no ultimate difference. The only real difference between the two frunks is the Model 3 has a little hexagonal shape. They probably got influence from that from Lamborghini. As in the Model Y, well, I mean, it kind of just has oddly shaped triangles with a little bit of insulation, if you will, which allows the trunk or frunk to close. Another difference we need to talk about are the rims. You can see the rims here are much bigger than the Model 3's, or at least they sure look like they're bigger. Another difference as well, the Tesla Model Y doesn't have removable plastic covers like the Model 3 offers. And a striking similarity between the Model 3 and the Model Y is right here when you go ahead and look at the little camera housing. You can see it forms a little line that goes all the way to the rear. And if you take a look at the Model Y, it has the exact same thing. You can see you have the housing here and the line goes all the way to the rear. In the same way that the camera housings are the same, take a look at the headlight assembly. It goes right here and it's a smooth line that goes all the way to the rear as well. In the Model 3 and the Model Y, exact same thing, a line that goes all the way to the rear. Another difference between the two actually comes within the camera housings once again. You can see right here you have chrome, and that's because the older Teslas, especially in 2018, came in chrome. So do all the body panels on the side here. Go ahead and take a look at the newer Teslas, such as this 2020 Model Y. Everything's in black. The Tesla Model 3 on the camera housing has a little Tesla T. If you go ahead and go to the Model Y, it does not have that Tesla T. Another difference between the Model 3 and the Model Y is within the cameras themselves. On the B pillar, you can see this is the Model 3 side camera, but you go to the Model Y and it's significantly smaller. At least the little housing for it is. And as you can see, the Model Y doesn't really look all that much taller. We have it set where the Model 3 is in front of the Model Y, and it's not all that much taller. But once you go ahead and get a bit closer, you can see it is quite a bit bigger than the Model 3. At the end of the day, Tesla did offer rear seats, third row seats in the Model Y. And so they had to get that space out of somewhere. The inside of the Model Y certainly isn't small. It is so much roomier than the Model 3 is. You have more footroom, you have more headroom. And honestly, it's just a much better place to be than the Model 3. So you can go ahead and see right here, the legroom is so much better than the Model 3. We'll show you in comparison in a second, but I have room to fully extend my legs all the way down here. I have more than enough room. We have the driver's seat set up to where an adult would sit, and we have more than enough room to be nice and comfortable back here. So much better than a Tesla Model 3 would be in a road trip. And as you can see in the Model 3, the room is so much smaller. You can barely extend your legs. Your feet don't fit under the seat. The floor is very much higher right here, so my knees are pretty much always up. It's overall so much more cramped here. And as you can see in the Model 3, headroom isn't really something that you have that's all that much available. If I'm sitting straight up, you can see my head is right on the glass. I'm 5'9", and while somebody who's around 5'11" is going to struggle to sit here comfortably without banging their head on the glass. As you can see in the Model Y, headroom is not a problem. I go ahead and sit straight up. I've got plenty of space left. This is where you can really start to tell the difference between the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now the difference in the Model Y, you can see I have dropped down the cup holders or the little center console for the rear. And you can see it is so much bigger than the Model 3. Another difference, you can see the Model Y has black door sills. Right here it says Model Y. You'll see in a second, in contrast to the Tesla Model 3, it's all in chrome. Within the newer Model Y, rear charging has changed. You can see here they're Type-C ports, while in the Model 3, they're Type-A. While we're in the Model 3, you can go ahead and see a big difference between the Model 3 and Model Y. Is, well, the roof. You can see here the glass trim splits in half right here in the middle. This is where your lighting is, and then on the sides here you have your little coat hanger. In the Model Y, you can go ahead and see, because the roof is made completely out of glass and there is no middle divider, they have to put the lights and the coat hangers right next to each other right here. And between the Model 3 and the Model Y, there is no differences. We've looked hard and far within the screens, the infotainment, center storage, you name it. We cannot find anything different in here. And just like the Model 3, the Tesla Model Y still has the fun, stupid little games that the Model 3 has. And look at me, I'm doing quite well. I'm in first place right now, and I'm doing so well for myself in my blue Model Y, which is the exact same color as this Model Y in real life. That is the coolest thing in the world. So here we have the owner of the Tesla Model Y, and he's going to go ahead and tell you about some of the issues that he's had over his all of 1 year of ownership with it.
Yeah, so it should be common knowledge now that Teslas do come with a bunch of issues, especially if it's the first year of production, and this new Model Y was no different. To start, like all other Teslas, we did have a lot of panel gaps, but those got fixed by Tesla. So another problem that we ran into was that one of the seats on the inside, on the driver's side in the back, ripped, and we didn't notice that until a month later, and by that time Tesla said it could have been our fault, so that's something we're definitely going to have to look into replacing in the future.
So Tesla was like, yeah, we know that we did this, but we're not going to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're going to have to fix in the future, and if we want a new seat, we might as well just replace it then instead of replacing it now. So probably, because they said they're going to have to replace the entire bench instead of just that one seat. So yeah, in the future, when the car gets a little older, we might just replace it to get new seats, but we're not going to do it right now.
So other than the rip, did you have any other problems with the car at all?
Yeah, the car just decided to shut off one day.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it just left me stranded at the mall. But before that happened, our heater just stopped working one day. And then while we scheduled our service appointment to fix that, we went out and the car just left us stranded because one of the batteries just shut down. And that kind of left us stranded for 2 hours, and we had to wait for Tesla to come and pick the car up. And there was really no way for us to do anything, especially now because malls were closed. So it was kind of just us sitting in the car for 2 hours just waiting for them to pick us up, and they didn't even have a ride because the service center was closed. So we have to call a ride too.
And at that point, how old was the car?
This was probably 2 months ago, so probably to 7 months.
6-month-old car, the car was just like, nope, I'm done. That's
Yeah.
great.
But at least, I mean, it was an inconvenience, but at least Tesla covered it. Most of the problems they covered, the only thing that they didn't cover was the tear, and that tear really didn't hinder the functionality, because like nothing's coming out of it. There's none of the cushioning or anything is spewing out of it. So as of right now, that tear doesn't do anything to the functionality. It's just a little bit of a hindrance, and it's kind of annoying to look at, especially in a car that's this new and at this price point. But it's definitely something we're going to replace in the future.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your look at the differences between the 2018 Model 3 and the 2020 Model Y. And I know we kind of bashed Tesla a little bit towards the end there about their build quality, but the truth is their build quality has been getting a lot better over the past 2 years. Every car they build, their quality is slowly and steadily getting better. And with that in mind, I've got to thank Avi, the owner of this car, for letting me review the car. He's just appeared out of nowhere because that's how good we are. And of course, we've got to thank my cameraman Prabhat, which he also appeared out of nowhere. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. That was Alex Automotive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my cameraman. His name is Prabhat Nalamili, and he makes everything possible, so a massive shout out to him.
Hi guys, hope you're enjoying the content and keep up the good support.